Hello, my wonderful friends. Welcome once again to Marriage Without Tears channel. This is your channel for couples who are engaged to be married or are already married for a whole lot of years and they want to make a difference in their marriage by adding ingredients and all manner of nuggets, things they need to do in order to make their marriage more exciting. This is the place to be. And if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, you are missing a whole lot. But once you click on this red button by my side, you become part of this family. We call this family Marriage Without Tears family. So I welcome you to this edition. Our discussion today is centered on the sexual needs of a man. A man's sexual needs is actually multifaceted. It encompasses not just his physical needs, but his spiritual needs, his emotional needs, and his mental needs. If you actually want to understand a man's sexual needs, then you need to understand where he's coming from all these perspectives. Very, very important. And of course, you must also know as a woman in marriage that you need a good understanding of your husband's sexual needs in order to be able to do your job as a quality wife and as a quality companion. So please be part of this audience, watch this edition, and you will learn a whole lot. Once again, my name is Felix Okeke. I am your marriage counselor and coach. Welcome once again to Marriage Without Tears channel. I am going to give us 7 critical areas. If you adopt even one of them, it will transform your marriage. Very first point I want to make is on what I call respect and admiration. I have seen a whole lot of people say a man's, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach or through the food you give him. As good as that may sound, I would like to tell you that it is not entirely true. A man can get the best of food in a quality or classy restaurant down the road. A man can get the quality of food from a woman he doesn't actually love. That you get quality food from somewhere as a man does not mean that you automatically gain access into that man's heart. The easier way to gain access into a man's heart is your capacity to respect him, your capacity to admire him. That is the easier way. And I will give you 1 or 2 things. Really, many people will say, how do you do that? It is by treating him like a king. It is by learning how to talk to him, how to speak to him. You don't speak to a king in an uncouth language. You don't speak to a king with sarcasm. You don't speak to a king with a derogatory language. You don't shout at a king. You don't mock a king in the presence of his people. Therefore, if you know all that, you should know that your husband is a king in his family. You don't mess him up in the presence of his children. You don't mess him up in the presence of strangers. You don't just talk to him anyhow. You talk to him with honor. You talk to him with calmness. We talk to him with you calculated respect, intentional respect. That is how you talk to him. You talk to him with as a woman who has great regard for the sanctity of your vow, who have great regard for who your man is. Very, very important. If you adopt that attitude, you will always have that man eating from the palms of thy hands. I mentioned admiration, and admiration is very, very important too, because a man needs to know that you actually admire him as a person and as a personality. If you don't do that, then you leave a lot of room for other people to step in and begin to admire your man. How do you admire your man? It is by paying attention to what he puts on even before he goes out of the house. Make a comment concerning what he has on. Make a comment about his personality. He may be a man who has 6-pack, wonderful. Comment that. Maybe a man who goes to the gym all the time. Commend him on that for trying as much as possible to improve his physical well-being. If he's not a physically endowed person like that, you can commend him in terms of his personality, in terms of his cadence, in terms of his honesty of heart. You commend him. Find something to comment and appreciate. Admire him. That is what will give you an easier inroad into his heart. Respect and admiration, very, very important. The second one I also want to talk about is what I call emotional safety. Guarantee his emotional safety. And that means being able to be vulnerable without being judged. Then you also have the man closer to you. Because a man has a whole lot of pressures that come from his workplace, pressures that come from his societal expectations, pressures that come from his spiritual, values, his spiritual, area, pressures that come from all manner of areas. He has all these pressures around him. He looks for an opportunity to open up to someone, and the person that is closest to him is you, his companion. Is you that is able to open up your heart and receive what he has to, dish out. So he has to be confident enough to be able to say that out without being judged. That is where you get that man closer to you. If after he has explained all to you, and he discovers that you are using it for a conversation with a neighbor, or he discovers that you picked up your phone and called your parents and began to discuss issues that were private moments between both of you. You start discussing it with your parents. He cannot afford to be vulnerable in your presence. A man has to treat you like a confidant. He has to know that you have his back, so to speak. Very, very important in a union. And for you to get a man's back, it has to be something that happens over a period of time. And he says something, he weighs you in the balance. He's able to check whether you can be relied upon to keep a secret, whether you can be relied upon to keep certain information to yourself and not divulge it even in any form of pressure. He watches over that, and when he gains that confidence in you, then he becomes a better friend, he becomes a better husband. Very important. Thirdly, non-sexual touch. Sometimes you touch your man not because you want to have sex, but you want to be closer to him. The man comes back from work, and possibly you are also through with your work. Instead of coming to the sitting room and sitting differently, why don't you come warm up to him, sit, beside him, lay your head upon his lap, and then have a quality moment. It doesn't matter even if the children are around. These are non-sexual touch. Or you are going to somewhere, instead of walking your own side of the road and he's walking the other side, why don't you come closer to him, hold his hands? It communicates a whole lot of things. It communicates closeness, it communicates warmth, it communicates a whole lot of things. Make your relationship to have the passion that, the same kind of passion you had when you started this relationship. Bring it back, bring back the joy. Non-sexual thoughts has a whole lot of, possibly he's sitting down somewhere and he's not even expecting you to, and then you come behind him and hold him from the back. Hold him from the back. By the time he turns, it brings a lot of warmth. These are playful touches. These are non-sexual touches. It does not mean that anytime you touch one another, then you are heading to the bedroom for sex. No. It simply means that you are close enough to enjoy these non-sexual touches, because it draws you closer and closer together. Very important. Once again, if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so immediately. There's the red button by my side. Look at it here. Once you click on it, you become a part of this channel. And we have a whole lot we have done already. Almost 200 videos on this channel. Every one of them rich in content. So please click on this red button and take advantage of them, even as we go to number 4. Number 4, as a woman, you need to know that your husband needs adventure and variety in the relationship. Not just during sexual intercourse, which is also one of them, because a whole lot of people are doing the missionary thing. And like I used to say, even the missionaries are tired of missionary positions. You can bring variety into the sexual experience. Also, variety in your love life. Once in a while, even when he's not expecting it, why don't you draw him to a place where he can say, let us go for a trip outside. Let us leave all behind. Let us go out there. Let us take a date night out. Let us, get out of town. Let us, rent a hotel room somewhere. Spend some time together. Let us, bring a lot of adventure. Bring a lot of variety in your love experience. Every man desires that. When love becomes monotonous and the way you relate to one another becomes monotonous, it endangers the entire relationship. Because a man's life demands and desires adventure. And so is his sexual life too. Don't allow his sexual life to become mundane, to be what he expects every day. Bring the unexpected into your love experience as a woman, and you will see that man eating from the palms of your hands. Very important indeed. And the fifth thing I want to say actually are words of affirmation. I know very soon I will do an edition on love languages. But one primary love language is affirmation. When you are able to affirm someone, you are able to tell someone you are better than you think. You are able to tell someone you can do this. You are able to tell someone, I trust you. I trust your skill. I trust what you have on the inside. I know that you have the capacity to do this. If there are men who move mountains, you are one of them. I rely on you, and I trust that you have the capacity to do what, even because I have watched you over a period of time, and there are so much to harness in you. Please go ahead. I am 100% behind you. I support you in this. Affirm your man. Many people don't do that. They allow all the ugliness and all the transactions of the day and all manner of pressures and stresses and that are happening. You kick out that from your. You no longer affirm your man. But do you know that one of the reasons for marriage is for you to be able to affirm, for a man to bring in somebody that will add value to him, that will encourage him at a time when he's low-spirited, a woman that will add to his, a woman that will uplift him when he's downcast, a woman that will tell him you are capable when he thinks he's not capable. A woman that will tell him you are the best when he is not actually the best. A woman, that is what marriage is all about. Because if you keep watching your man going down and you have no way of propping him up through words of affirmation, you are missing a very, very vital part of your relationship. So affirmation is very important. Affirmation is very important. That's why when you started a relationship, his name was Mike or Michael. At a point, you started calling him Mike. But in the process of time, it became Mickey. You are trying to hype him. You are trying to bring joy in him. You are trying to tell him that he is sweeter than he actually is. So that is what I mean. Words of affirmation, words that uplift, words that enable, words that make him become better than he could have been is very important. If you are capable of doing that to a man, you will win his heart. You will not only win his heart, but his sexuality will improve. His sexuality will improve. I have seen women who will tell their man, I know you are weak, I know you are tired, but I know you are a horse. Anytime I touch you, I know you must do something. And I know you can't disappoint me. Come, darling. I know. Let me rub your back. Before you know it, the man is agile. He's willing to go. Because the word that was flowing from his wife inspired his organs, inspired him. The word that is flowing from his wife began to touch some certain places in him, and before you know it, he was ready for the sexual experience. So, affirmation is very important. Affirmation is very important. And if you as a woman, you know how to affirm your man, if you know how to add value in him through words of affirmation, you can always get him to be the best you can ever, hope for. Once again, please look at this red button, subscribe to my channel, be part of this awesome edition and awesome channel. And I look forward to having you week after week. The sixth thing that you need to do as a woman, if you actually want to explore or exploit the sexual drive of your man, if you actually want to understand his sexual needs, is being able to discuss with him with clarity, with honesty of heart. One of the things I treasure in my own spouse is honesty. She has a high degree of honesty. I have not seen a woman that is as honest as that. And it makes me happy all the time, because this is a relationship that have lasted for close to 3 decades. And it is difficult to find her wanting in the place of honesty. She's able to tell you how it is and what it is. Sometimes it may be a negative comment, but you can be sure that you will hear the truth from her. Very, very important in a relationship. When your husband is able to rely on your words, when you are able to communicate to your husband in a way that makes him trust your words, no matter whose ox is God. then you have a quality man, you have a quality relationship, and you have a man whose sexuality will continue to improve. One of the sexual needs of a man really is being able to hold on to the words of his spouse, with all strength. Hold on to her word. Know that no matter whatever happens, this woman will never tell me a lie. That is why anytime she says, sweetheart, you are sweet, you know in your heart that you are sweet. If she's able to tell you, sweetheart, you need to improve in so and so area, you need an improvement in so and so area. So communication with clarity, with honesty of heart, does a whole lot of things to a man's libido. It does a whole lot of things to a man's sexual drive. It does a whole lot of things, really. So as a woman, you need to know that. Quality communication. And finally, I will give you the seventh one and we close this. And I would say it is simply providing a stress-free, intimate relationship. Make sure at the back of your mind as a woman that you have decided to give your man peace of mind. Simple. Peace of mind. No matter whatever he's going through, let him be sure that when he comes home, he will meet peace. It makes all the difference. Many women don't know that. Oh, the heart of a man is gotten through food. It's not just food. No. Peace of mind. A man that is assured of peace of mind, a man that is assured of stress-free, intimate relationship will always look forward to being with you at any point in time. Peace of mind. Peace of mind. So I am using this as an opportunity to communicate to our wives, to our sisters, to daughters out there. Make it a priority to give your husband peace of mind. If it becomes your priority and it becomes engrafted in your spirit, and your husband is able to attest to that, I can tell you that wherever he is, he'll be rushing home to be with you. Because he knows at the end of the troubles of the day, there is only one person that gives him peace. And he will rush to that arms. So, please, these are the 7 areas that will, if you give it to a man, like I said at the beginning of this edition, if you can only take even 1 or 2 of some of the things we mentioned here, you will see the sexual drive, your sexual, pleasure of your husband begin to grow with ease. I thank you very much for taking our time to watch this edition. And before you check out, really, please click on this red button, get subscribed, recommend our editions, recommend our channel to a whole lot of people out there. And one thing also, a whole lot of you, I need you to make comments anytime we finish an edition like this. So I desire your comment. And if there are things you want me to discuss in this channel that we have possibly not discussed over the years, I will be very, very glad to hear from you. I look forward to such a text. God bless you and have an awesome time.